Everyone is saying hindi na raw maganda dito sa Canada. Huwag na kayong pumunta sa Canada dahil hindi na magandang tumira doon. Everyone is fleeing, everyone is going back to their home country. Even yung mga puti is nanirahan na sila or they find ways kung saan sila pwedeng tumira outside of Canada or mag-move kasi ayaw na nila dito. Dahil may rumors everywhere na hindi na maganda ang Canada. To answer that, in my opinion, Canada is still great. Overall, it's still great. It depends on your perspective and it depends on your current situation. So, bakit ko nga ba nasabi to? Dahil maganda pa rin sa Canada kasi there's still a lot of opportunities for everyone. There's diverse culture, so iba't ibang lahi nandito. Hindi mo talaga mafe-feel na mga puti lang at saka ikaw kasi maraming Chinese, Koreans, Indians, maraming lahi ang nandito, hindi lang Pilipino at saka mga puti. So, there's variety of colors, skin colors dito sa Canada. And also, when it comes to culture, generally, ang Canadians ay open and welcoming for other race. Overall, we are welcome here. Now, of course, there are racist people. Hindi natin yan may pagkakaila and it happens. Especially these days parang lumalabas yung mga tao na ayaw sa ibang lahi. Pero, in general, we are still welcome here, especially tayo mga Pilipino. Now, there's a downside kasi nga, as I mentioned sa mga previous videos ko, medyo mahal na talaga dito. Most of the prices ng lahat ng services and products na ginagamit natin everyday ay tumaas. And this is not just in Canada. No, alam naman natin na this is everywhere. Even in the Philippines, it's not just like it's an isolated type of inflation, pero everywhere, like maybe all over the world, everything has gone up. Prices has gone up. And the most important thing that I will consider as something na ma-benefit natin dito sa Canada is the better future. For us, ako at saka yung asawa ko, we are the first generation of immigrants here. So, yung anak namin at saka maybe yung mga apo, we were building a better future for them dahil kami yung naglakas loob, especially yung asawa ko, na mag-abroad and mag-settle sa Canada and live here for good. For context, we are already citizens and our son is dito siya pinanganak, so he is Canadian and his future daughters and maybe granddaughters, they will be Canadian. So we were literally building a legacy. For me, I consider it as a legacy because in our culture as Filipinos, everyone or majority of us, not everyone, but majority or a lot of Filipinos really want to move into countries like Canada. So we made that happen. We as first generation immigrants na nandito sa Canada, now we made way for our family tree na we will have ties to a country like Canada. So let's dive into the benefits na nakukuha natin dito sa Canada. Kung bakit tayo pumupunta dito and we're dreaming of migrating here and living here. The first thing is of course yung opportunities, economic opportunities. So for example, when I was in the Philippines, ako ay gumraduate ng nurse and I passed the nurse exam or the licensure exam. However, nag-volunteer lang ako and even volunteering there, most of us had to pay. If wala kang sweldo, magbabayad pa para makapag-volunteer, para maka-earn ng experience bago maging employee ng isang hospital. And if you compare that in Canada, of course, pagdating mo ng Canada, if you are a nurse licensed in the Philippines, hindi ka magiging nurse dito agad-agad. You will go through this process na hindi rin madali and it will cost money. However, after that, it's kind of rewarding as well kasi of course malaki yung sweldo and there's also a lot of benefits. And aside from, of course, kapag tumira ka dito and you work here as a nurse, your children will also live here, your husband, your family, you're going to bring your whole family here. So that's one of the opportunities na makukuha natin dito sa Canada. However, in my case, personally, I didn't become a nurse here dahil it's my choice na hindi ako mag-upgrade dito as a nurse. Ayoko kasi I have my personal reasons and number one is the work culture. Alam naman natin na if you work as a nurse, it's really a demanding kind of work. You will be exhausted most of the time and nakapagtrabaho na ako sa healthcare setting dito sa Canada. And alam ko na kung ano ang experience ng mga nurses dito kasi I see them every day during when I worked as a care aide. And this is not to discourage everyone or talk badly about nurses, but everyone has their own opinion and that's mine and that's my choice. So instead went on a different path which is about business kasi yun yung passion ko and that's what I really want to do instead of doing nursing or working as a nurse. Number 2 is access to quality education. So Canada is really well known kasi it's a developed country, western country, and it's really known for its quality education. Why would we say quality? Dahil they have a really good standard when it comes to education. Yung mga bata dito ay protected. They have a system in place so that everything and everyone will work and function in a synchronized way, I would say. Kaya overall, ang education talaga dito sa Canada ay maganda. So colleges, for example, right now I am enrolled in a college dito sa Canada, and it's just all online. However, it's recognized already. So for example, you will attain or acquire a certain certificate kahit na online mo lang kinuha, it will be recognized. However, right now sa Pilipinas, ang alam ko is hindi pa sila masyadong sa online kasi nung pandemic, 'di ba, everyone kind of went online, but they're using Facebook. Until now, alam ko is form of communication is like Facebook Messenger and stuff. But dito sa Canada, they will never use to social media for communication when it comes to parent and basta sa school. Sa mga school, they will never use social media as a means of communication in order to protect everyone's privacy and confidentiality. And of course, number 1 din is yung, social media is not really secure. So it can be prone to like hacking, and of course, kapag nangyari yan, everyone's information will be out there in the public, and it's not good. And kapag for example, merong yung ginagamit nila na system is may leaking or like something like that happens, they will act on it right away and they will treat it very seriously. Kasi they are always protecting personal information. Like confidentiality and privacy here in Canada is a huge thing. It's a big deal for them. That's why isa rin yun sana kapag up level ng kanilang integrity when it comes to education. And alam naman natin na when it comes to technology, Canada is one of on the top as well. So yung mga courses na it requires technology, you will be assured that they have this top level and updated technology to teach or to use as a way of teaching. And they also use this for real life application of what they're really teaching, not just theory. And one thing that I also observed dito sa Canada is they minimize, if not like totally omit yung mga, sa atin is we refer to it as minor subjects. Like we have this Civica, mga Philippines, like something ganun na subject. They don't have it here. So for example, mag-aral ka ng certificate na course. They call it certificate if it's like 1 year na course or 10 months na duration ng course. So, for example, accounting na 1 year certificate. In that 1 year, walang mga minor. Not at all. It only focuses kung ano talaga yung course mo. So, when it says accounting, everything is about accounting, accounting 1, accounting 2, financial accounting, taxation, ganon, audit. So there's kind of, for me, there's no waste of money, effort, and time. And that's my observation when it comes to education dito sa Canada. Number 3 is enhanced quality of life. This is for me controversial in a way na you will have, I consider quality of life here in Canada is when you can manage your finances even though you're working here in Canada and you earn money, but your money just goes to everything that you have to pay, utilities, cars, houses, like everything, and there's barely anything left for you at the end of the month. I don't consider that quality of life unless you are working double or triple jobs for savings, for investments, and gusto mo lang na trabaho right now so that kasi may goal ka na in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years is you will have an easy kind of job na because you had investments. Pero kung nagtatrabaho ka ng 2-3 trabaho dahil ang dami mong kinukuhang, you consider it as asset but it's actually not an asset. It's depreciating like cars. Hindi siya quality of life. So for me, you will enhance your quality of life in Canada if you know the game of finances dito sa Canada. Dahil if you make a big mistake sa finances mo dito sa Canada, if you don't manage it well, everything will just go to bills. And if you are doing that, you will be exhausted pero wala kang nakikita. You will be exhausted and you don't have quality time with your family. And when you're exhausted, of course, wala ka sa mood. You're always in a bad mood. Your body is always tired, but you still have to work on that double, triple job that you have para lang to cover everything that you have to pay. So for me, it's not quality life. So that's why I consider this area na controversial, or it depends. Number 4 is cultural diversity and inclusion. So we all know, I guess, at this point na dito sa Canada, ang daming iba-ibang lahi, hindi lang puti. So when we come here as Filipinos, especially Filipinos, I think this year or 2023 sa statistics is pangalawa na tayo sa pinakamarami dito. Before, I think it was Chinese and Indians. But I think at this point, ano na siya, Indians and then Filipinos. So, ang dami na natin dito. That's why hindi ka na parang mag-isa. But way back 2012 when I came here, kukonti pa kami. Kukonti pa tayo. So this feeling of like paglabas mo, marami ka na makakitang Pilipino, you can have friends with other Filipinos sa workplaces. Especially yung mga workplaces na, for example, being a care aide, ang daming Pilipino. So, hindi mo mafe-feel na you are excluded. As well as yung mga naghahanap ng trabaho like employers. Especially government facilities, mga government na mga workplaces, government offices, things like that. They will always make a point na if you are of a different skin color, you are welcome to apply. Something along those lines na yung mga Filipino, Indians, whatever, mga visible minority groups dito sa Canada, you are welcome to apply. Para of course, you'll not question na, is this job for me? Pilipino ako, ganyan. There's nobody is excluded when it comes to opportunities here, especially employment. So for instance, pregnant ka and you apply for a job, they cannot say no to you just because you're pregnant. It's not a reason na mag-say no sila sa'yo just because yung sole reason is just because you're pregnant. Hindi nila pwedeng gawin yan. So, dito sa Canada is, we're welcome. As Filipinos, as Asians, we're welcome. Especially tip tayo mga Pilipino. If hindi nyo to na-observe in social media, but this is just my opinion because this is what I've observed everywhere, yung mga comments, like, na mas welcome tayo dito kasi everyone see us na hard worker and easygoing, friendly. That's why positive yung parang feedback ng mga tao dito sa atin, sa mga Pilipino. The next one is better opportunities for future generation. So na-mention ko to kanina na since tayo ay we braved ourselves na pumunta dito and mag-migrate dito sa Canada and raise our families here. We really set our lineage na yung family tree natin ay merong ties sa Canada, na yung mga anak natin, apo, and maybe yung mga apo sa tuhod, their kids, na they will also stay and live here in Canada and experience the life in Canada na may better opportunities, like everything that we've experienced, they will experience because of us. Dahil sumuong tayo sa odds, adversities, difficulties, obstacles, nag-invest tayo ng pera para pumunta dito. Especially yung mga international students, they really invested a lot of money para pumunta ng Canada just to experience the life in Canada, live here, and yung future generation, mga anak and apo will have a better life. So for me, yun talaga yung parang nakakapag-entice na mga Pilipino na pumunta ng Canada, even though ngayon na maraming rumors, maraming mga sabi-sabi na hindi na maganda sa Canada, na mahigpit na yung immigration, ganyan. Ang dami pa rin Pilipino na gustong pumunta dito, and even like personally, naririnig ko pa rin sa mga kakilala namin na ganito, ganyan, gustong pumunta ng Canada. And naintindihan ko yung point of view nila. Kasi we were once there, diba? Nung nasa Pilipinas tayo, we are so excited na pumunta na Canada and manirahan dito. Especially these days, ang daming nagsishare kung what Canada looks like, anong meron sa Canada. Ang daming nang nagbablog, even though meron din namang nagbablog ng something negative sa Canada. And there's always going to be one or two things na masasabi talaga natin na negative dito sa Canada. Even though ako, sa mga vlogs ko, I mention things na hindi maganda sa Canada, something, on the negative side, just like the prices, I always mention about this, and, the cost of living in general. That's why Canada has been painted as hindi na maganda na tirhan, or hindi na maganda na mag-move doon. But overall, Canada is still Canada. Na even though a lot of Filipinos already went home, they did got their one-way ticket and they don't plan to come back here anymore dahil they find na it's better to live there. One thing's for sure, these people, or at least majority of these people na umuwi sa Pilipinas and then ayaw nang bumalik ng Canada, they have other things to do there. they are starting a business there, they know how to make their way para kumita doon, and they didn't just go home and then go back to where they were before. They were not really forced na umuwi. Although I'm not really sure about this, but it's just my opinion na meron daw mga nakauwi dahil na-deport talaga, or not in the sense na tiniport shushu ng Canada, hindi, dahil nawala ng status. And of course, if you don't have a status and you were ordered to get a ticket, book a ticket para umuwi where you came from, like tayo mga Pilipinos to the Philippines, of course, it's kind of forced dahil in the first place, they didn't want to go home. Gusto lang nila magstay dito. However, wala na silang status and they were ordered to go home. Which in that case, they're forced to go home, and I feel sorry for them. Dahil yesterday, I made a video na coming to Canada is like starting a business. And if you start a business, of course, you invested, which is we invested a lot nung pumunta tayo ng Canada. And if we did invest, how come walang plano? How come walang pre-plan na path? Although meron kayong mapi-PR ako doon, ganyan, pero what are you going to do? Like realistic steps na kailangan mong gawin para ma-achieve mo yung PR status at hindi ka ma-force na uwi sa Pilipinas. And, diba? So those are just the things that I like to share no dito sa vlog ko today. And guys, if you would like me to talk about something specific, please don't hesitate to comment down below, and I will really appreciate your like and subscribe, and I'll see you again sa next videos ko.